I didn't end up there. I ended up in competitive swimming. Who am I? What do I want to do? Searching for my identity during COVID.
I didn't really do much exercise during lockdown, and so actually coming to uni has been so nice because I've been ready to leave now for like a year.
I think the last time I had social life, I was like, what, 8? She was like, oh, what do you do? Like, do you actually dance? And I was like, no, I play handball. It also helps you correct your back because I had scoliosis after I did rhythm gymnastics. That was one of the reasons why I had to stop too. I learned so many things about dance by myself, and that made me love dance even more. That's why I love booking studios just to dance by myself, because it makes me connect in a personal way with my passion, and not like I'm in the studio, I'm having a class with this person.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Movement Theories podcast. Today I have another international student with me, also from Portugal, from the same place that the last two were from?
Actually not.
Actually not?
No.
Okay, well we'll go on to talk about that slightly later on then. We're also covering topics today such as how sports can influence you as a performer. We're both at Bird College, which is this amazing drama school. And we're also both very hungry. We've come straight from classes today, and so we have our dinner with us. So it's going to be a bit of a mukbang. It's very exciting. Haven't done that yet. So my name's Josh. Welcome to the Movement Theories podcast. Mariana, tell me who inspires you?
Okay.
Let's go deep straight away.
Oh my god, it's too late for this, but
I'll eat my dinner.
I don't want to be cliche or anything. I don't want to be
No,
like
be
basic.
cliche. Be cliche.
But
we love it.
I say this every single time that people ask me, like, who inspires you? And it's my parents.
Oh.
Okay.
I love that.
No, it's definitely my mom and my dad. I'm an only child, so I'm.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm an only child. I don't have any siblings. I wish I had though.
Yeah, I've got a brother. He's older.
I wish I had a brother.
We've only really connected though in the last couple of years. Since he went to uni, and when we came back, we started to have like a mutual interest in YouTube, firstly, and home workouts. But before that, we weren't the most. We weren't the closest. But actually, it's been nice recently.
Yeah, I've always wanted to have a brother. I never wanted to have a sister. I don't know why. I think it was because like I was closer to my dad.
Yeah.
Because I was more like an extrovert and I just wanted to do crazy things. And my mom was like, let me chill. Let me just sleep. Let me get some rest. But no, yeah, it's definitely my mom and my dad. My mom just inspires me to like keep dreaming high, and my dad also, inspires me of like, big things come from hard work.
That's very true, though.
You have to work hard.
It's definitely true.
So,
how does being an only child work in the sense of, do you feel you get a lot more attention, and would it be divided between siblings? So for me, my brother, with the sports that he did, a lot of the week was spent sometimes kind of doing his karate classes, then taking him there, and like the other part of the week was spent for me doing gymnastics. Do you think it benefited you, maybe being an only child, because it meant that you got more of that for yourself?
I would be a liar to say that it didn't benefit me. I would be like, oh no, yeah, it didn't benefit me because like their whole focus was on me and not anyone else. And probably like because of like my family and my conditions, if I had a sibling, I would probably not be here. Because it's a struggle, first of all. You discussed that with Kaya and Marta in
we did.
Their podcast.
So go check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, go check it out. You talked about like the struggles of being an international student in terms of like financially. And for me, it's also like that. So if I had a sibling, I would probably not be here. Because
they'd have to divide.
Yeah, they had to divide. But I was not very close to my parents because my dad's job, he's always working outside of the country. So it was just me and my mom. And me and my mom always had a good relationship, but it was always like we were missing my dad. And then when he came home, I was like trying to be with my dad full time. And then I was a kid, I just wanted to play. And my mom was like, oh, I have to work. But then COVID happened and COVID happened, a lot of things happened to me. I start rethinking about like friendships, relationships, and I got closer to my parents because I realized like all the efforts that they did for me to like just follow my dreams and to be who I am today. So
COVID benefited you quite a lot then, in that sense.
In that sense.
Did you do much sport as well during COVID, or did you have it all cut?
So I was doing, you don't have it here. I realized that because I talked about this with a few friends. Handball. I told you about it. Handball. It's basically football with your hands.
I've played it in PE lessons, but I don't know what opportunities there are to play it like as a competitive team.
It's not very it's not a big thing here, but it's a big thing in Europe.
So it's a big thing.
It's a big thing in Europe. It's not like football. It's not like netball. Is that what you call here? Not
netball, yeah. We've got volleyball, basketball.
Yeah, it's not like a big thing, but it's kind of a big thing outside here. If you get what I'm saying.
No, I do. So it's more prominent in Europe than it is in England.
Yeah.
I don't casually look on the internet and see there being like some UK handball team. So I understand what you mean in that sense.
I don't know if they. No, it's probably there.
There might be, but they're not. Yeah, not something that's been that's popularized. So that's something that's big in Europe, and you did that a lot.
Yeah.
During lockdown.
Basically, I was doing it like before COVID. I was doing it professionally for like 3 years. And during COVID, we had to stop because it was a sport that was basically, it was not individual.
Yes.
It was like
a team.
And so basically
safe.
during COVID, I was just doing like workouts and, preparing for the new season. But a lot of things happened with that too. And I went back, but it just didn't work out for me. But we can get to that later if you want to.
I'm sure we can, yeah. Do you think you were productive? How do you think your mindset was during lockdown? Do you think you got a lot done, or do you think maybe not?
I think I got a lot done, and I think it was because I changed a lot.
Okay, in what sense? What were you before?
In the sense, first of all, I was very extroverted before COVID. Like, I was the kind of person that just wanted to go out. I just wanted to, like, meet new people all the time. But during COVID, I discovered how much I love being alone.
Oh,
I discovered how much I love how much I love being just in my room with my headphones, reading a book. I discovered my love for books too during COVID. And with that also came bad things with it because with the sense of like, oh, I like being alone. I kind of isolated myself, but my friends kind of just, oh, okay, she's not talking to us anymore. I'm not going to talk with them. I'm not going to talk with her.
So they didn't necessarily take it in the right way?
Yeah, they didn't take it the right way. And when I tried to tell them, like, oh, I'm just trying to, get to know myself, get to know, like, what I want. Because it was also during COVID that I realised I wanted musical theatre. So I was kind of, like, searching for my identity during COVID. And my friends were like, she's not like, why doesn't she talk with us like every day? What's happening to her?
I see. Yeah.
I don't like the side of you. I'm just not going to be friends with you anymore.
Have you found it maybe then easy coming to Bird because you don't have a lot of like emotional attachments at home? Like you've come to Bird with lots of your close friends, such as our camerawoman today. Very exciting, Liao.
I met Liao here.
Okay, really?
I met her. I didn't know you before here.
Maybe this is just my bad just mentality of like you just all knew each other. You're all from Portugal, so you all knew each other.
I knew Kaya, and then like she introduced me to the rest through a group chat, and I went,
cancel, get rid of her. You're fired.
Get out.
Please don't. I really need you.
And I went and saw her final show, because I went to London.
I didn't remember that, but Kaya told me that you went to watch like
the dress rehearsal.
Yeah, the dress rehearsal for like the first one, the Chicago. I remember that. I was
a supportive person.
That's great. Yeah, so you've met a lot of the Portuguese people here. The ones back at home, how do you feel in terms of leaving? Was it hard to leave, or was it not too bad?
I think in terms of like I live with Kaya, so I know more like the perspective of Kaya than any other Portuguese people. But in terms of like me, and Kaya, I think it was harder for me because even though all of those things happened in COVID, last year was a very good year because I started uni in Portugal.
Oh, so you've done 1 year of university
I've
already?
done 1 year of uni in Portugal, and that year was really, really good because I went to this uni and I went to this like course that I didn't know anyone.
Was it a 1 year course then?
No, it was a 3 year.
3 years, but you came to Burren instead.
Yeah, I came to Burren instead. You have like that option, like freezing your like.
Will you restart when you finish Burren, or will you just?
If I don't, probably like it depends. It depends of like my future of what happens after Burren.
Yeah, there's also the problem that we've already talked about on the previous episode with how the visas work. That's absolutely fine.
Oh yeah.
Because you're going to need to probably marry someone is kind of the decision that they all came to.
Don't talk about that. My boyfriend's probably watching this.
That's awful. This is just a joke.
No, it's not.
They were very serious though. Like, you only have like a 2-year post-grad visa and you need to then make up the other 3 years before you can get citizenship in the UK, which is really tough. I need to speak closer to the mic. What am I doing? Which is really tough because how do you do that? And I guess that's going to be a challenge that I'm interested in seeing you guys overcome and helping where I can. We'll see how that is.
Only the future can tell us.
Exactly. When you've got 3 more years here. The thing is, like, you guys are some of the hardest working people that I know. Like, that's a fact. You've come from a studio booking. Like, not many people, first years don't usually book studios to rehearse. It's generally as later years, and you guys go in to do the extra bit, which is, it's very impressive. I mean, I'd gone along to one, you guys rocked up and then had a separate studio afterwards, and I was like...
You're having tap. You're having tap. Oh, she had tap.
But I had like spaces in between.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I just find you guys, like, I can just see with the work that you're putting in, I can see how that's going to benefit you in the future. Because it's crazy. It's crazy. No, it is. I'm just telling the truth. That's what this podcast is. I just talk, I tell the truth, and I try and be as open and honest about things as possible. Kind of going back to lockdown, for me personally, I think lockdown I found that I quite liked my own space. I would go out and I would meet people, but I don't think looking back, I didn't like the person I was then. And I think it was useful that I found my own space. I ended up gaming a lot. I didn't really do much exercise during lockdown. There's a game called Rust and I just spent hundreds and hundreds of hours on it. I created my own gym because I had to, because of handball. Like, I had to create like my own gym. And then when we went to lockdown again, because I think, I don't know if it happened here, but we went on lockdown into 2021, I think. We went again. And I was still doing handball, but I just didn't do much exercise that lockdown. So, but yeah, did you feel like, oh no, I'm going to ask you a question. Fine. It's cool. It's cool.
Look at me. Did you feel like you were trying to find like, not a new identity, but your true identity during COVID? Because that's what happened to me.
I think what it was... This is deep, man. I think what it was, because I finally had a lot of time to myself, I think that kind of forced me to reevaluate a lot of my life.
Yeah.
Coming out of lockdown was when I started musical theatre. Beforehand, it was purely dance, it was purely gym. I'd gone through a lot of rough patches. So coming through lockdown and coming out, I think I did change quite a lot. I definitely went into my A-levels a lot more mature, like suddenly a lot more mature. I had my moments, but we're all kids, aren't we? But I think compared to who I was in year 11, I think year 11 I was just trying to please people. I was trying to impress people. I was trying to show off. I was trying to be like, look what I can do and whatever. But actually coming into A-levels, like, I didn't necessarily care too much about if people liked me or like make it. I didn't care about like, I've got to make all these friends. And so actually coming to uni has been so nice because I've been ready to leave now for like a year.
Yeah.
And whereas lots of people have been like, oh, I'm homesick. Like, I'm staying over the half term, and that's like absolutely fine. It doesn't cross my mind that that's a problem. And I think it's because I've wanted to be here for so long, and I didn't have many emotional attachments. Back home. Yeah. Because I was just so focused. Coming out of lockdown, I didn't do much work in lockdown. Coming out of lockdown though was when I kind of cracked on with it. And I think that's probably the reason I'm here now. Me in lockdown wouldn't have got me here, but the 2 years kind of from afterwards to the auditions, I think was what has really helped me the most. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it
kind
answered
of-
my question. Yeah,
Damn,
I'm satisfied.
answer it down. That's crazy. So yeah, no, definitely, it was an important factor. Let's loop back around to you now. What I wanted to ask you was about what sports have you done, and then kind of like what was the order of doing them? What kind of did you do first, maybe when you were a kid, and kind of what?
Okay, so you want a full list because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, I know it'll lead into lots of other questions, I'm
Okay.
sure, but I'm interested to know.
So, I started swimming when I was 4 months.
You were just a little baby, just put in the pool.
I was 4 months, yeah. I started doing like swimming because you could do like swimming with your parents.
Oh yeah.
So I started doing swimming with my dad.
And by 2 years old, you became a pro swimmer. You were just so good.
Of course.
Just a year and a half
How
of
do you
just
know?
your parents. Have you seen the videos online of like babies just being like put into water and then like
Oh, yeah.
them adjusting themselves to?
Oh, yeah.
It's impressive.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I wish I had that
But
because I can't
I was
float.
not like that though. I was not like that, but I had the motivation. That's what matters.
Yes, exactly. The mindset.
Yeah, so I started swimming at 4 months, I think, with my dad. And then I did like some, it's not karate. How do you say judo?
I think it's
Judo.
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 Okay, so I did judo.
I'm just such a pro at understanding Portuguese now.
Wow.
I forgot. I've got a little because I work best of hearing things. I have a little like dictionary of phrases in my phone. They're mostly rude.
I saw a dictionary of like Portuguese, English, and like bird.
Maybe I should get one. Maybe I should
Maybe.
invest.
Maybe you should get
anyway,
one.
sorry, let's go back. So you've done swimming, you've done judo. What else have you done?
Yeah. So then I started artistic gymnastics.
Lovely. We love a good gymnast.
But I started like four, yeah.
Same.
4. And then I stopped at 6 because I wanted to get into rhythmic gymnastics.
With balls and hoop. And
Yeah, those kind of things.
I've never really understood rhythmic. I've got nothing against it, but I've just never understood it.
I loved wearing those like little costumes that they wear.
I wear little costumes when I do
No, but
gymnastics.
they wear like
I had a very
costumes
sparkly
with
little top.
Swarovskis, and
I see.
I had like those costumes,
Yeah.
and it just made me feel like
I want to see if I can find a picture of mine. You keep talking. I'm going to see if I can pull up a picture.
but it just made me feel like some people dress as like princesses. Those dresses make me feel like a princess. So I wanted, every time that I saw a girl like doing splits and like jumping or doing like those crazy turns, I was like, I want to be like
wanna
them.
be that person,
I
yeah.
want to be like them. But yeah, at 6 years old, I told my mom like, oh, I want to go off artistic gymnastics. I want to try that.
Yes.
And I was still doing swimming. I quit judo. I did like 3 classes because my dad is like, he went to the highest level.
Oh, cool.
And he was on the national team. When he told me that, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
props to you.
Yeah, I want to do that myself. Which I think you ended up
but-
doing, didn't you?
What?
On a national level.
It's not that I almost went, but if I continue handball,
Yeah.
I did not national team, but like regional like team.
Oh, yeah.
So you had like 5 regional teams in Portugal, and I went to one of those. It's not
Got you.
national, but it was like, for me, it was like, oh my god, I'm on top of the world now.
Yeah.
So and
sure.
that's what matters at the end of the day. Even if people don't say that, oh no, like you have not reached the top. If you feel good about yourself, if you feel good about what you've reached,
Yeah.
you should feel like that.
And that's what matters.
Yeah. But yeah, I did rhythmic gymnastics for 4 years. Talking about nationals, I got 3rd place or 2nd place at like group rhythm gymnastics at nationals.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
so
last
that
year.
is national.
That is nationals.
Yeah, I'll buy on this video. I don't know if I'll put this on the screen or not. We'll see.
Okay.
And so I might end up cutting this out, but
scared
I want to
now.
show you this.
Okay,
I
show me.
don't have the costume. I can't find my costume, but this was an old. I look so young. So it was a pitched angel where
my
you throw up and
God.
catch. And look how
You
small
were
I am.
so young.
And then it was a twister catch and then pop back up again.
Oh,
With
but that's is that artistics? Because my
No,
artistic,
that's acro.
That's acro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Acro came after that.
So you've done acro afterwards.
I did acro.
I want to find this
after
costume,
it.
man.
Yeah, I finished rhythm gymnastics because it was not a very good environment, and after rhythm gymnastics, I had my little I had the first touch with like dance because I had ballet and contemporary while I was doing rhythm gymnastics because it was like like they made you do it because of the technique. And then after I finished rhythm gymnastics, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this dance school. I went to this dance school, tried for like, I think I was like 9. I tried for a week. I loved breakdance.
Me too.
It was my favorite
I've not
style.
really done proper classes, but I really want to get into it. I just enjoy the feeling.
Loved breakdance, but I didn't end up there. I ended up in competitive swimming.
Competitive swimming this time.
Yeah, because I was still swimming, and I was in a time of my life that basically it was at this time that the time of my life that I called go for your friends. Do it because your friends are doing it, not doing it like
not necessarily
for
for
you.
yourself.
Not necessarily for myself, yeah. And basically I went to competitive swimming because my friends were doing it, and I really like, oh, my friends are doing it, I'm gonna be with them.
Yeah.
But on sideways, I joined this like acro team. It was not very competitive. It was like a school acro team. But because I had the basis of rhythm gymnastics, I already knew how to do certain things. And it was fun. It was like when I was not doing competitive swimming, I was doing acro. When I was doing acro, I was doing competitive swimming. When I was not doing like the both of them, I was studying.
Yeah. So always very busy.
Always very.
Yeah.
My
Spent
life
a lot
was,
of hours outside of college
That was like
or school.
Yeah, I always like. I always said to people, I think the last time I had social life, I was like, what, 8?
Oh, wow.
Because,
little kid birthday parties.
Yeah.
That was your most social. That was your peak.
oh yeah, oh definitely yeah.
I can kind of relate. I can definitely kind of relate because I had to miss out doing gym and competitions or dance
I
and
missed out
intensives.
so much because of like.
Yeah.
But at the end, you look back at it and you're like,
very
oh, it was
useful.
all worth it. But yeah, and then basically my life was just like, oh, I'm not enjoying this anymore because I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my friends. Just gonna give up. I'm just gonna give up. And then I was doing like, I stopped doing acro because I left my school. So I went to like another school, and that school didn't have like an acro team. And so basically, this is actually a fun story.
We love a fun story.
Yeah. So basically, I started doing handball because I went to the club to try. I went to the same club that I did handball to try for rhythm gymnastics again. Because I wanted to get back at rhythm gymnastics. Yeah. So I went to this club, and then I got outside of it. Like, I got outside, like, they were training here. They were training, like, I'm going to do it like this for people. Like, I was training here. I went outside, and then there was like a field.
I'm loving this. This is great.
A field.
This is brilliant.
And I went after like my training. I was like, okay, I enjoyed that.
For the audio listeners, Mariana's using her hands to visualize.
Yeah, visualize. Basically, I was in a left side. I was in the left side. I was in rhythm gymnastics.
And on the
then
right.
on the right side, it was like handball practice. And I went after practice, after rhythm gymnastics practice. I went because I had to leave by the right side. Mm-hmm. So I passed by the handball. I was like, oh,
that is cool.
That looks cool.
And so you
that looks nice. But I didn't end up for that reason because it didn't look cool. I ended up because I had some friends and I liked the boy from there.
So
yeah. I ended up there, but I also ended up liking it. Mm-hmm. So I was enjoying it, and then I started doing like professional in like. Do you pay attention to football here?
Kind of.
Champions League, because you may know if you pay attention to.
So I pay attention to Wrexham. And they're in the National League. So.
Okay, no, you probably don't pay attention. Or
sometimes some of the Prem
League. But yeah, I went to this like big club in Portugal for handball, and of course, COVID happened, and I realized, okay, who am I? What do I want to do? Because am I doing handball just because I'm liking it? Like, I have to stop thinking about my future now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm getting older, and that's when I figured out, like, I saw Heather's Bootleg on YouTube. I saw Legally Blonde on YouTube, and I was like, no, this is what I want to do.
Had you done it beforehand?
No.
Or it was from watching had you done much dance movement?
No, just it was just gymnastics,
Gymnastics.
the ballet foundation and contemporary foundation that I had it. And then all I know from other styles, it was because while I was doing handball and while I was doing competitive swimming, in my free time, I would be at home, like, teaching myself those things.
Yeah.
Because for 3 years, I was doing professional handball, and I did this, like, talent show for my school, and it was always dance.
Yeah.
And it was really funny. Also, a fun story. I won that talent show.
Was that with self-taught dance stuff?
Yeah, it was like my choreography, everything. Yeah. And basically, the lady that was judging, she was basically the head of this, like, conservatory, like in my city. Yeah, conservatoire. Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Sorry.
No problem.
Of like a conservatoire of dance in, like, my town. And she was like, "Oh, what do you do? Like, do you actually dance?" And I was like, "No, I play handball." And she was like, "No,
You've got talent.
I think you should consider this as a career."
It's a good thing you did.
And yeah, then after that, like, I didn't consider at that time, but then I figured out that I wanted that.
Yeah, so. That's really cool. We've talked a lot about handball, and I'm interested now to see, like, you as a performer now here at Bird College.
Yeah.
Are there certain elements of handball that you think have actually really benefited certain elements of your dance? Maybe because I don't really know much about it, but obviously you're using your arms and your hand, and obviously fitness generally is good. Yeah. But are there other elements? I'm just interested to know that you've noticed have, like, that's actually helped improve the way I do this, or with swimming, for example. Yeah. That's improved. Because I could talk for days about how gymnastics has got me here. And that very much, I'm sure, is a crossover for you. I'm interested with these other styles, with these other sports, if there are, like, certain things that you do in them that you think maybe was, like, a transferable thing that is, like, you felt has given you a little bit of an edge.
Yeah. I think in terms of technique, no. I think
technique, yeah, because
no,
yes, that's
but
fine.
I think in terms, like, I can talk about swimming and handball specifically, resistance.
Okay, nice.
Resistance is one of the big things that
I love that.
At least that's what I think is very important to have in musical theatre, because you're going to be dancing and singing and acting on the stage for, like, an hour and a half, and you have to be ready to do that. We actually, like, in me and Leon were having that musical theatre tech. We're doing that specifically, like, dance, song, hairspray, sing, like, You Can Stop the Beat, like, just dancing around. And it's really hard because it's a really hard song to dance and to sing at the same time. And swimming and handball really helped me, because I also had to do a lot of, like, strengthening and resistance work. Yeah. And now I just kind of applied that work into my performance. And sometimes I ask myself, oh, why am I not, like, that tired? And I feel, okay, I've done some work before.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, so now I'm actually kind of a little more used to it than probably some people are, but that's fine. That's okay.
I think looking at my old gymnastics experience, you have some food.
Oh yeah.
What's is actually coming off from that? What's quite interesting, like, for gymnastics, yes, I do lots of sessions and I'd spend many hours a week training. However, what we were actually, like, building up towards was, like, a 2-minute routine for dynamic and a 2-minute routine for it's been a while. When I've talked about it recently, I can't remember the names, but one's basically moves that move and moves that are still. Balance. So the thing that I found with gymnastics is that our routines were only quite short. And so now doing musical theatre, I'm not used to suddenly having to be in the performance mode for an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah, and it was different for me because swimming is, like, the kind of sport, like, a lot of, at least, like, the physio, and I think a teacher actually advised me, like, go to, like, swimming because it gives you resistance.
We've been told that if any of us can, it's really, really helpful.
Yeah, and it also helps you correct your back, because I had scoliosis after I did rhythm gymnastics. That was one of the reasons why I had to stop too. And they told me, like, do swimming because it's gonna correct you and it's gonna help you. But handball, like, with handball, I didn't have to be ready for, like, 2 minutes of, like, just playing handball, I had to be ready for an
For
hour.
a whole match.
A whole hour.
And that linked really well with the long shows.
Yeah, and it was always like running back and forth. And it was also like physical touch with people. Handball is a very physical touch sport. So I had to be ready in terms of like resistance and strength. And I kind of applied that to now, like musical theatre and dance specifically.
You know, I didn't know if it was meant to be a physical touch sport, but the times I've played in PE with the group that I was in, it ended up being quite physical. But I never knew if it was allowed to be or if that was just my group being a little bit rowdy.
You have to touch people, you have to grab them.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it at the time. I was like
Yana being aggressive.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Good to let your anger out as well.
Yeah.
This links really nicely, this whole topic of performance and how that's helped you. Linking into podcasting, which we'll have a little conversation on about in a minute. What I want to say, you can have some food now if you want, a little break. I'll have a little ramble.
Don't ask me twice.
The thing with podcasting is, since doing this podcast, I've realised that I go into a performance mode and I then hold it for an hour and a half, however long the recordings are. And what's great is like the gymnastics gave me like the quick boosts, which are really good for like a dance routine, like a dance break. It gives me that quick, like I can put a lot of energy in for a short amount of time. Doing podcasts has then helped me build on staying in the performance head, because I've not done many shows. I started musical theatre like 2 years ago, and I've done 3 shows with the company that I joined, which isn't tons, and so I have quite a limited experience. But now, since doing this, and I've done like 16 odd episodes, that's like a lot of time for me to be like, okay, and you know, focus, engage, and that's helped maybe go alongside the whole gymnastics 2-minute short bursts.
And you also learn like how to do all of this by yourself.
How to speak properly. I don't always speak properly, but on the most part, I think I do.
And you learn like to do all of this by yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because I think like when you learn things by yourself, I don't know if that, I think that's at least the way I felt with dance, is that I learned so many things about dance by myself, and that made me love dance even more, because I had to find like the dance in like the passion in dance by myself. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I do. I think I can relate to that. So I feel like I enjoy and am more passionate about hip hop kind of freestyle forms of dance, because I've never actually been taught it, and I just see things online and learn how to do different tricks and stuff. And I like have a fire. I have like, I want to learn all of it. Whereas like the contemporary and et cetera, I do love, but I don't have the same like enjoyment. I don't have the same passion as I do for like, I want to learn this hip hop thing. I want to perform like that. And I'm really enjoying like the commercial classes, the kind of freedom to explore your vibe, which I never had an opportunity to do before. It's taken some time to kind of get out of me, but
because I feel like when you're taught by a teacher that loves like dance, just like you, has that passion, just like you, you're learning like from someone's passion. And sometimes that's why I love booking studios just to dance by myself, because it makes me connect in a personal way with my passion, and not like, I'm in the studio, I'm having a class with this person that has this passion. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining myself.
No,
well.
I understand you, and I do.
I don't know if your listeners will understand.
No, I think they will. I think they will.
Do you get, Leo?
I do.
No, I like dancing on your own in a studio and just being able to explore what you love and what you like, and doing what you want to do can really help.
And it can help you like reach levels and reach layers that you didn't even know that you had.
Help express yourself as well, you know, kind of do things that you like, for your mentality as well, because you're used to like strict classes, and it gives you that kind of time to, I think once I've settled more and got used to the long days and worked on my sleep schedule, I'll end up booking studios just to do the same thing. Or if you guys have a studio and you don't mind me just having headphones on in the corner, let me know, because I definitely want to start doing that more, because
I'm just gonna start singing the Shakira song now. Whenever I have to stop.
You can have a sing song if you want. These mics, I think need to be used for singing. They haven't been yet, but one day.
I think you should have like an intermission in your podcast, and
Really?
it's just you singing.
Yeah,
or just
you
someone
think?
else singing.
I don't know how much people will like that. I'm still, my singing lessons have been a massive thing for me.
He's lying.
I'm not lying, generally.
I never heard you sing.
No. My singing
heard you sing.
recently, my recent singing lessons, like, my eyes are just. I'm always just like, whoa! I never kind of knew half the thing.
But that's the thing.
I'm finding it so. I love them.
But that's the
They're
cool
so cool.
thing about
like,
it.
Brilliant.
I think that's like the coolest thing that I found about bird is like discovering things that I never knew that they could be like that. For example, jazz. At least from where I come from the studio like that I come from, jazz is so much different here. And I told our teacher, I don't know if you have that. You don't have Sue Bryce, jazz.
I've got Belinda and Ruth.
Yeah, you don't have Sue. But basically, she was asking, like, how do you feel about jazz? How are you feeling? And I was like, oh, it's different. But it's a good different. Because it makes me think, oh, okay, so... Because sometimes you reach a point where you're like, oh, this is everything I need to know. This is everything that, like, there is to be taught. And then you come to a different place overseas and it's like it's a total different perspective. And I think that's the beauty of dance, because even though technical wise it's kind of like the same base, there's always going to be something different. And it's just, for me, I cannot wait to discover more.
And training in different places then gives you that breadth.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll actually probably talk about this a lot in next episode next week, which is being recorded in an hour with Cameraman Liao.
Yes.
And that will go into a lot about training at different institutions. We can kind of
she has a lot of experience in that.
We'll get really into the nitty gritty of like what it's like, the massive differences. But that is such a valid point of coming somewhere. For me, this is all just new. So it's not like I'm learning something different. I'm just learning something new. Tap
that's a beauty.
is overwhelming.
Oh, tap.
I mean, I'm sorry. My eyes were closed because I was so deep just in the thought.
Same.
It's a lot, but I've got some great teachers and I'm getting through. Our class is also really supportive, which is really nice. So guys, if you are watching this one, thank you. You encourage me a lot. And I feel like I try things that otherwise I'd shy away from, because a lot of you are very nice about it. So that's really nice, kind of being put in a class. Being put in a class with people who really lift you up is great. And like the teachers as well, like my singing teacher, if we go back to that, he's incredible. I've gone from like, I thought I was here. I thought I could only get there, and already he's taken me to here. Like, I never knew that I could hit an A. I hit an A, guys, I hit, and I did not know I had it in me. I mean, it was in like a warm up, so it was in like doing a scale, and like it came through that. But give me 3 years, it'll be in a song. It's a promise. I'll do it in a song. No problem at all. Like, honestly, you need food. You need to feel yourself. It's been a long day, and Thursday's all right. Thursday's long, but it's a broken day. Like, I have a lesson straight away, but then a break, and then another lesson halfway through the day, and then a big break, and then like 4 hours straight of workshop. It's an interesting day. And then probably gymnastics, but I'll see how I feel. You guys coming to gymnastics?
Not this week because I'm broke, but I really want to go though. Yeah.
I don't. Thing is, I realised you need to pay like an insurance.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I haven't done it
today.
yet, so I don't know if I will go tomorrow because I haven't done that, and I think it takes a couple of days to come through. So I'll just take a break. Maybe I'll rest because I need one.
Rests are good.
Yeah, I really need one.
I think that's what half term it like is for, and I think it's important.
Yeah.
Like, at least I feel like the need is like, I told myself like 2 days ago, like, it's okay, you need to rest.
Yeah, you've got to get through this week, and then you can just
do your stuff, and then just like relax.
Yeah.
Just yourself to relax, because I was thinking about like, okay, what do I have to do like next week?
Yeah.
What do I have to practice?
Make a little plan for every single day, but.
Relax.
Yeah, because we really don't have that much. I think you can only spend so long going over materials from your classes before it's like you know it well and you don't need to anymore. So I think for me, and then I can ask you afterwards, I've got a couple of main goals for half term. Big one is sleep and relax. Second one is I'm going to try and crank some of the essays that we need to do in first year, just kind of get maybe some bulk of some of those done, and maybe like write up a list of like, because I haven't been recording what I need to do for when, because in my mind it was like do that at half term, because I know everything was from after that. I want to watch some shows.
Yes.
I want to watch some shows.
You should.
I think my parents might be up for a day or two, so I'll probably say hi to them. And I might do some more sleep podcasts.
Yeah.
Record some podcasts. We've got lots of people who are interested, which has been really nice. Coming here, it's been a big difference to back home. What about yourself? Half term, big goals. Probably the same as mine, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so are you staying here?
Yeah, I'm staying.
I don't know.
I didn't want to go back home.
Yeah.
I could have, but I'm not homesick and I enjoy it here and I'm paying for this place and I like the independence. I've been ready. Like I said, I'm being ready to leave for so long. Anyway, goals for you. I'm sure they're the same.
To-do lists for half term. So my boyfriend's coming, so
awesome.
I have to enjoy.
Yes.
I have to enjoy his presence, of course.
You have to enjoy.
I have to enjoy, of course. Yes, I'm gonna be with him. I'm also gonna watch some shows.
Yes.
Hopefully, Mrs. Doubtfire and Back to the
I haven't
Future.
seen that. I haven't seen either. Yeah, I haven't seen
really
many.
Excited.
I'm
really
new to
excited.
this. Generally, there's so many I haven't seen. Don't point at me like that.
Good. They're really good.
Just take me to the shows.
Have you watched the
Take me to the
movies
shows.
though?
No.
Mrs. Doubtfire and Back to the Future movies. I haven't
Not
watched
that
Back to the Future. Why am I talking about that?
Not that are like
I
I
need to
remember
watch it.
maybe as a kid, but
They're old though.
Yeah,
They're
okay.
Old, though, so.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, I'm gonna watch those shows. And I'm gonna organize like assessment. It's not assessments. It's like those essays that we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Go for choreos. Go through like my notes, my dance notes, my corrections, and just like work on that. And rest and just like catch up on like my reading, and also like shows, just watching like TV shows and movies and sleep.
Oh, I've got Disney Plus again. So Mandalorian season 3. I have been binging. I love it. I am obsessed with Mandalorian. Star Wars. I've started.
I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's what you have.
Here we go. Look, yeah, I'm
why.
obsessed. I'm gonna start watching through the entire from episode 1 all the way through because it's so interesting watching the first one, which obviously isn't like the first because it was recorded afterwards. But watching like the official first episode compared to what they are like now, it's so interesting just how much it's changed.
Josh being a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, I went to Comic-Con and I got photos with.
It's my time to leave.
Anyway, yeah, let me.
No, continue.
Let me kind of think back onto what I was saying before. I'd mentioned something to do with podcast. Do you have a podcast?
I do.
Yeah, I'm interested to know about that because you do yours in Portuguese.
I do.
So I'm sure I had a few more things I wanted to say, but I just can't remember. I go on tangents.
Let's just talk about that.
Yeah, I want to know about. It will come back to me, and then I'll like butt in, interrupt you, and take it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that.
Yeah. What do you want to know? I have a podcast. What do you?
Yeah.
want to
Where did your initial inspiration come to create one?
So, I love talking to myself.
Fair enough.
That's like my favorite.
Very
hobby.
valid.
And it was actually like I started posting videos like on my spam account, just talking. And my friend just started saying like, "You have such a great like voice. Why don't like start doing a podcast?" And I was like,
so it's through a friend recommending.
yeah, through like friends recommending
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you have a good voice. Why don't you stop like doing podcasts?" And I was like, "Should I?
Yeah.
Should I do that?" And it was like a few years. It was like 3 years ago. And I was like, oh, maybe I should, just for fun, just to do like some stuff. And I started with a concept, then it changed, and now like I think it's fixed. I like it now, but I love watching I love not watching. Sorry, I love listening. I'm not.
Well, you can watch.
I can watch.
You
but
can watch
I'm not,
this one if you are guys.
but
Thanks.
I'm not usually like a person that watches podcasts. I always like listen while I'm doing like chores or while I'm doing like my cooking.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of person. But I love Emma Chamberlain's podcast.
So she's a big influence.
I think she's my biggest influence as a podcaster.
Yeah.
because I just love how chill she is.
Like her energy and her vibes.
Yeah, she's really chill. She's really just relaxed. She's in her bed talking about serious stuff.
Yeah.
And about stuff that, like, I'm listening to it and I'm like, oh, I actually can relate to
And things that
this.
she's passionate about as well.
Yeah,
You know.
and it's just really nice. So I just thought a podcast, just, you know, it's kind of in the sense of like not feeling alone and having someone to talk to, even though I'm not talking to anyone.
And what's really nice about like these famous celebrities doing it is that it creates that more, oh, you're a real person. That feeling of like, oh, you're normal, I relate to you.
You're being vulnerable. Like,
yeah. And I think that's so important. What I think is really admirable, and I think we should definitely take a moment to just, you know, appreciate this, is you're now doing this podcast, but in your second language. You're not doing it in Portuguese, which is what you do your
Do you want me to do it in Portuguese? I would just start doing it in Portuguese. I think you can, Josh. I think you can understand Portuguese now.
I'm getting better, but my Duolingo, I have a streak, but it's a streak of not doing it. So I need to change that. I got a thing this morning, it's been 7 days. I went, hell yeah.
I was like so proud, and then you say a streak of not doing it.
Yeah,
like,
the Duolingo bird does haunt me. And it also gets my hopes up. It's like, yeah, it's been 7 days. I was like, oh, has it? And I was like, oh, wait. No, because I didn't do it yesterday, so that's clearly, it's been a whole week. So I'll get better.
You will.
I'll get back onto that. But I think it's really, really impressive that you're here now.
I'm sorry
this
for
podcast.
my grammar.
No, it's fine, but
Sorry.
I don't think anyone should judge you. No one's got anything to judge. I think everyone should just be impressed. And if you are Portuguese, I'm sure that there are a few. The last couple episodes have been with Portuguese people. Then we'll link it. Go have a listen. What do you talk about? What topics are you passionate about that you cover?
I just talk about my life.
Yeah.
Like, I used to talk about more specific things. So there's an episode that I really like that I did like 3 years ago. That was like when I turned 16. I did 16 years, 16 things about me.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. But I started doing... That's actually good. Like, I was really proud of myself
I like
when
that.
I had the idea.
I feel like Liao's got something to say.
I turned 16 3 years ago.
No,
You're
wait.
so old. Old lady in the room.
Wait, 18.
Get out
17.
of it.
No, I'm turning 19 now.
So you're 18 at the moment?
Yeah, I'm turning 19 this year.
Yeah, so that it would have been 3 years ago.
Yeah, within 3 years
Yeah.
ago.
Like, you've got a whole year being 16,
But for me, it's
a whole
weird.
year being 17.
For me, 3
whole year
years
18.
is like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
3 years
But what,
is
you
like...
were 16, like, 16,
Oh, be
17,
careful with that.
19. Oh, my. Wow.
Let's old lady in the room.
In like 7 different languages.
I mean, I called you old in the last
She doesn't
episode, but
look
now I'm
that.
doing...
She
You don't look
doesn't
old, no.
You don't look old. You
No.
look our age.
Yeah, I thought you
Like,
were
you
our
look
age.
20.
It surprised me when we were at
That's a really
Spoons
compliment.
and... No, I would have said 19. I would have said just before 20.
I would say 20.
Yeah.
Because you can see that she's mature.
Not 20s, 20.
20.
Yeah, like you've seen stuff.
Like that age that
know what I mean?
everyone ate.
Like,
20.
yeah. Like 20s is the age where like you've experienced things. But you're not old, but you've seen stuff.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I mean?
like 20. It's like you're old enough to like... You're old enough, like you're an adult. But you're not old enough to drink in America.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Well,
you
you
a
are now.
teenager? You are
You
now.
are, but-
You are now.
'cause you're old.
Crazy girl.
Put that back in the wall. I need to do
You got
something
stuck
with
in
that.
my hair.
My bad, sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It's not my bad. Just be more aware next time. You've been
my
on the planet. I'm not going to name your age. We can do that in your episode.
Exactly.
But yeah, back to podcast. Did you ever talk about anything like theatre related? Were you ever interested in
No.
theatre during your time, or was it all?
No, because I started doing my podcast and I was not very... I was not a musical theatre girl.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I just talked about... I did an episode about my London trip.
Mm.
I have like a series inside my podcast that I call
Okay.
Shitty Talks.
I love that.
That is just me and my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 episodes. It's just me and my best friend talking like absolutely...
Yeah.
Sorry, can I curse?
Sure,
It's just talking shit.
that's fine. I think
Yeah,
you'd
just
already
talking shit.
said shit like a
Shitty
second
talks,
before.
yeah.
Shitty talks. I
But-
think swear words as long as it's not excessive. It's cool.
I'm just starting cursing now. Like,
No.
Let's go.
Let's not frequently, but
Oh,
I don't mind
please.
the odd one. And that's only because I never used to. But then there was an episode which I rushed the edit because I was like really busy and I hadn't bleeped out Kaitlin swearing. And then I released it onto YouTube and we were like, all right, well, that's us. That's us done. We can't be, there's no point in trying.
There's no filter.
Yeah, like it's out there.
Yeah.
So I it's fine as long as there's no
But I like to talk sorry.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, I like to talk about more specific things. So my most recent was relationships.
Cool.
And my perspective on like relationships, how to maintain a relationship healthy, and just like talking about that in general and topics that I'm kind of like experienced about. And my episodes are actually a little bit more different than yours because they're like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Okay.
Still a podcast, but yeah, shorter.
Podcast, yeah. But yeah, I now want to do more. I had now some ideas. I really want to release now.
Have you been inspired by?
Yes, by Leon. Yeah, I feel really inspired by her.
I mean, she is an inspirational lady.
Yes. We always get back to her.
This is not my episode.
Yeah, it'll be soon. It will be soon. No, did you feel maybe encouraged by this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to give you that.
All right.
But
you know what?
No, yeah. Like it was like seeing you interviewing my friends. I was like, okay. That's nice. Like I like how they're having a conversation.
Yeah.
But it was also the feeling that now coming here, it's not that my life is more interesting now. It's just what I'm feeling. My emotions are different. Everything feels so different here, and I feel like I felt things so. Oh my god, he's gonna get a chocolate.
Would you like one?
No, that's fine. Thank you. But yeah, it's just like. I feel things are really like to my like skin. I don't know how to explain. And coming here, I just feel like 2 times like it's even worse. So I just like watching you doing the podcast. I was like, I do actually feel the need just to talk with someone and just to share like all of my feelings without no filter.
Yeah.
And the only way that I can do that is just sitting by myself and just talking. Because
it's like therapy, isn't it? It's giving you a reason to talk about topics that are close to your heart. The only difference is it's therapy that the whole world could listen to.
Yeah, but that's fine. But it's like, it's therapy, you're not mentioning your name, you know, like, at least like I'm doing, like, at least I like to talk about personal experience.
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm sharing like this person's name.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, what, like, I'm expressing how I feel and about like why do I feel like this? Like what did I went through in life to make me feel like this?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of like therapy. It's kind of like a safe space, at least for me, my podcast. It feels like a safe space for me to feel like just weird.
Yeah. No, I think that's totally valid. Was it interesting is you do it quite differently to this because you post them onto Spotify. And like people can find out about it through like word of mouth, and if you tell people, because Spotify there isn't any like recommend really. The reach is different. Whereas what we're doing here is we're basically shoving it down people's throats and then hoping that we can like get a catch. We're like fishing. We're like throwing a rod into the water, fishing hook, and just trying to get a catch each week and see if we can get people interested. And we're pushing it everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
I always say that my podcast is just my personal diary.
Yeah. And that's so nice.
Who hears that.
Yeah, and it's 2 very different ways of approaching it, but both are very valid.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm doing this very much with a kind of a business mindset. I need to get you guys to actually sign some guest release forms, just to give me permission to post your face and voice onto the internet, because otherwise, who knows in the future?
Imagine recording a podcast and then I'll just write no.
I think the thing is because I'm planning on doing this every single week for the future.
But you've been doing so well now.
Thank you.
I couldn't
But I think that comes from collaborating.
Yeah.
Doing it individually, doing it as myself, I was guessing maybe 100 if I was lucky.
Yeah.
Since collaborating with people, the last Instagram reel we posted, 450 likes, nearly 10,000 views. Never ever in my life. Like, unreal.
You're famous, Josh.
But I know, like, because the thing is, like, that was one thing. But what we're aiming for is to have, like,
just
what we're aiming for is for like long-term growth. We're not too worried. Like, it's cool to see things do well. However, we're not too fussed about like, oh, this has to go viral.
Yeah.
We're very much like trying to long accumulative, we're aiming to get 100 hours of watch time per episode. We're not there yet, but that's our aim. And I think that also comes from interviewing people who can bring their own audience in, who want to hear about them, is kind of my tactic.
Yeah.
To then build and build and build, and then one day maybe get Carrie Hope Fletcher on. That's the goal. That's the goal, because Kaitlin really wants that. So
I love her.
we'll see. I said by episode 80, I think I could get her on. We're nearly on 20. So Caitlin's saying at episode 150. We've got a little bet going. I'm going to quickly finish this chocolate because it's a bad. I'm going to take a little pause. We've already, in the break, talked about this. What's your favourite show?
Do you want to do it all again?
So you both said it at the same time, but didn't get it right. You said Moulin Rouge.
No, but
It's
she's
actually
she's partially right. And I'm going to explain my movement theory.
Oof.
Oh,
Finally, because we never actually do theories of movement on this podcast.
No, basically, my favourite show is Heather's the Musical. And I know it's a little bit controversial because some people are like, Heather's, what? But it's my favourite show because it's like, it's not just a good musical, but it's also like the first bootleg that I saw in my YouTube channel that got me into musical theatre. It was the first show that I watched on the West End, and it's just like, yeah. And
what about it?
amazing.
What element? Singing, acting, dancing.
So it's more singing and acting than dance.
Mm.
But I love the movie because there was a movie like Heather's before it became a musical. It was a movie, and I really liked the movie before. So when I saw the musical, it was like the songs are really catchy.
Yeah.
And it's just the meaning behind of it. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Have you watched it?
I haven't watched it. I'm gonna watch it at some point.
So you have to watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but the people who know the meaning behind Heather's, it really touched my heart because I was really feeling it at the moment.
Yeah.
But Maria's Liam's, oh my god, how did I say your name? Liam's response was Moulin Rouge because Moulin Rouge is also like, I always say Heather's and Moulin Rouge because Moulin Rouge was a musical. It was also the first musical that I watched with my parents here, and my dad actually cried watching it. My dad
would never cry. Actually,
my dad cried.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going to ask him this because I think maybe he could.
You have a question now.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to know.
No, but yeah, my dad cried. I was with my mum and my dad, and he cried, and now he's been saying like, I was like, I don't know which musical. I'm intrigued to see like which is. Oh my god.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. Enjoy.
I am so lactose intolerant, but I just yeah, they're good.
Okay, George. Okay, let's stop.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
You can get it back. Just
I'll put
don't
them over
get
here.
reaction or anything, but yeah, and then ever since me and my family saw Moulin Rouge for the first time, I'm always saying like, oh, I'm really intrigued about like what's the first musical that I'm gonna do like after bed, like I just know like what's gonna be my future, and he's gonna be like the first musical that we're gonna see you in. Oh my god.
What? No, nothing is happening. We're good.
I'm
Let's
gonna
keep it
see you in is Moulin Rouge because the first musical we watched together, and I can see you in it. And Moulin Rouge just has like the environment you never went to, but you never went to Moulin Rouge.
I have.
Oh, you have. You went to
Yeah.
Gaia, but it's just the environment that like is in that room.
I love
Ever
it.
since you step into that theater, inside the theater, and then you leave, it's just like you are so involved in the performance.
It's the set. It's just it's magical.
The set.
theatre is like it's one. Like they just overlap so well. And I think
I can't take my eyes off the stage once I get into the
Yeah.
theatre. I just can't. My eyes are like,
it's been designed
Looking.
brilliantly. Actually, we'll have some conversations with some of the students from Royal Central And the way Royal Central works, which you'll find out in later episodes, is the school is basically training a fully working theatre. So they have every single department of a working theatre under the school. So they have one acting course with like 20 odd people on it. They have an acting musical theatre course and then a contemporary device theatre. They also have a costume course, a course to do with set design, a course to do with being a director and like
Lightning,
education. And then like, they have everything. So you could basically, and I think they do, they take the people from each of the courses, say in second year or whatever, they bring them all together and they create a show with each other.
Yeah.
And it's
that's really nice.
such an interesting way of approaching it.
Yeah.
Like the school, the training facility has every single part.
That's really nice, actually.
Which is really interesting. So we'll go into that more because I don't know how well I explained it. So I'll have some Central students tell you.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Moulin Rouge because it is
It's
incredible.
really nice.
Yeah.
I didn't actually remember that you watched it.
I did.
How was it?
I'd watched it beforehand, right at the top. You have a very different experience sat at the top.
And I'm
sat
gonna
in
be
the stalls.
honest, like you sat on the stalls behind, so you didn't get access to see like the top of the stage.
Yeah, so I had already, but I wasn't bothered because I got so much more immersed sat at the bottom than when I sat at the top. It was
really, I really like being on the top.
It was good.
I was at the top like 2 times that I went, and I really like it. But do you want to know something?
What?
I am gonna buy can seats.
I was looking at them. And it's so tempting, isn't it?
I'm buying it.
It would give you just a whole new perspective for the show.
For sure.
Like being literally in where the performance happens.
Yeah.
So maybe the 3 times I watch it, maybe at the top, bottom, and then maybe a can seats.
Yeah. Royal Circle, like in the middle, must be good too.
Yeah. What I found is also when I went to watch like Matilda, we were at the back of the stalls instead of the middle. And I still got so immersed being sat down the bottom. I think it's because also the actors operate so much in like running up and down.
Yeah.
And like they enter the stage and exit a lot of the stage into the audience. And it just makes it feel so much more engaging and interesting. And just the way that you like movement theories, you can see their movements right up close, like by you. And it immerses you so much more. And I had
really
such a
engaging,
different connection to the show. I had tears come to my eyes twice. That doesn't really happen ever.
is a really engaging musical.
Yeah.
And that's what
brilliant.
makes it brilliant. It's exactly like it, because it makes you like, it's not like you're watching a show. No, you're in the show.
Yeah.
That's at least what I felt. And like, it's what I felt every time that I watch Moulin Rouge. It's like I am part of the show. Like without me, there wouldn't be a show. And for me, it's so special to feel like that. And
I agree. These shows rely so much on the audiences to come. I've seen. So this kind of goes against what I say a lot, but this is very lucky for me to have for that this has happened to me. I've seen Moulin Rouge twice. I've seen Matilda twice, and it was during my auditions. Coming up to my time coming up to London, where I watched Moulin Rouge and Matilda in the same day. Moulin Rouge were birthday tickets, Matilda were the £10 ones, and they were both right up at the top. And then the 2 shows I've seen since coming to Bird are also Moulin Rouge and Matilda.
That's nice.
However, watching them from the stalls, so for both of them, I had really different experiences.
Yeah.
And I've hardly seen any Western shows, yet I've seen both of those twice. So I need to really, I need to watch Hamilton. I need to watch Heathers. Yeah, there's so many.
Heathers closed now.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'll watch them on tour. That's cool. I'll watch them on tour.
Yeah. They're on tour.
But I'll.
To watch it, really.
Yeah, I need to start watching more because it's not good. I haven't seen many.
Yeah,
I saw those 2 twice.
I'm not going to talk about spending money on musicals.
I have a little savings pot, but I'm going through it quite quickly. Because it's for like everything to do with outside of food and travel, and it's meant to be for shows, but it's going towards a lot of other things. So I need to be careful.
Free last week.
Wow, I want to watch Newsies because it's it's reopening.
I really want to watch Newsies.
How would you compare the way you view Newsies in terms of like your favorite musicals to where you'd put like Heathers and Moulin Rouge?
So Newsies, first of all, I really like, when I do like rankings of musicals, I always go like, I know that I shouldn't do that, but I always go for like meaning, how meaningful they are to me. And also like actually watching them, because I watched the pro shot to Newses, so maybe like okay, I like the soundtrack of this one, but I watched the pro shot, but I didn't watch it live. So
I haven't seen it live yet.
I always do it like that. But Newses for me, it doesn't have a deep meaning behind it, but it has the dance part.
Yeah.
That really, really makes me like,
Yeah.
Okay, this is really a good one. But yeah, the dancing in News is just insane.
Yeah. I've seen it. I haven't seen it in person, but I've watched it on Disney Plus twice, and
yes,
both times it's just like I would absolutely love to be in it. And I think because I spent so much of my life doing acrobatics,
yeah,
now I just need to know. Now I know I can do the acrobatic element. I just now need to be able to do the dance element.
Yeah.
Because they're flexible, they're strong, they're spinning,
so good.
and that's all the things that we're learning here. I just really need to make sure that and actually my pirouettes have got so much better. My singing's got so much better.
Okay.
My acting's all right. It's all right, but
you have 3 years.
I've got 3 years.
You have 3 years.
And like we've only done one half term, and yet I've seen so much improvement.
And you have to think about, like, I always tell people this, you are not you're not a bird because you're perfect already. You're a bird because they want to work with you and they see the potential in you. So you have to think like, okay, I'm not very good at this, but I'm here for a reason. I'm here because they want to give me these like 3 years of training, because they see like how good I can actually be. And I think that's the mentality that I try to keep.
Yeah.
I try to keep, is that, I failed a pirouette. That's fine. You're here to improve.
Yeah, exactly.
And can I tell you something?
You can. Go on.
You know that. And I'm gonna, this. But basically, like, I was struggling with the step at ballet, and I got a compliment today.
Yeah.
And it made me my day, because I was working until like midnight yesterday on that step with Ronnie.
You guys are so impressive. You are.
I was working with her because I was not getting it.
Yeah.
And she was like, she worked with me. I was like, okay, I'm going to try it really hard tomorrow. And I tried it today at class, and I was very like focused. And she approached me like in front of the whole class and said like, very well done. And
it's so nice, isn't it?
It's really like, at least for me, I know that sometimes, we have to get used to people not doing it.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's really nice to see people, actually teachers, seeing how much you kind of, like, how much effort do you put in, like, getting better.
Yeah.
And for me, like, some people are just like, okay, why are you showing off? Why are you showing off? I'm just not showing off. I'm just showing off, like, how much effort I put in this, and like,
yeah, and you're paying so much to be here. Like, let me go to the front. I don't know why anyone would ever have a problem with someone doing more, going above and beyond, or always being at the front.
I'm just really grateful every time that I go. Like, my class is all talented dancers, and every time that I step into the studio and I just see everyone dancing, I'm like, I'm so grateful that I'm around these people, because they just motivate me.
I completely agree.
Especially in tap, when I see basically these like incredible tappers around me, I'm not like, yes, I get stressed with like some steps, but I'm also like, I want to be like them.
Yes.
I'm motivated now, so I think it's important to find the good side in things.
For sure.
So that's why, it's important to keep like a positive mind, especially like it's not just for me that I'm like an overseas student, but it's also for you guys, because you're not at home, not living at home. So we deal with a lot of things, and to deal with more stuff, I think it's important to like, okay, calm down, keep a positive like mindset, and everything will get better, you promise. And that's I think that's what I kind of like, I put in my head every time that I go to bed. It's like, everything will be fine. And if it's not, a bad day doesn't mean a bad week,
we've got 3 years.
A bad month, a bad life.
Yeah. Going off of what you said about like tap and being in the groups of people who support you, it's what I found in tap is like, I've come from no experience, and yet in my group I have a tap world champion, and it's like,
exactly, like,
it is
Like mine.
Yeah, like Ron.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I won't name drop. I don't know what she'd like. However, like, in my group, we have a world champion who is incredible at tap. Not just at tap, but like world champion levels, of course.
Yeah.
But she's really good because as a beginner, she'll come and help and like give me like quite like personalized one-on-one feedback, and then I kind of see myself seeing improvements, and like the whole group they're very supportive, which I've really liked. Also, what I think I should mention is the great thing. Like, I've not always been a fan of theory, or like I've not always been a fan of like, I just like doing things, and I don't necessarily like sitting down doing like writing stuff. However, the lessons that we have where we learn the sitting down writing stuff, what's great is like the next day I come in and I'm actually using what I've just learned in a lesson. So for the music theory, or the acting or singing technique, or the lessons that we do around that, I'll go to my singing lesson and it's all used. And my teacher is like, firstly impressed that I remembered this stuff, but also like he kind of puts his own practical spin on it, and then I actually get to use it. And then one thing I found really useful, do you have acting classes? Do you have your acting? I think it might rotate, but I think I'm on like acting technique or something. Have you done an acting class where it's like you stick in your script to like the left page, and then your right page you like create grids and do like what's your objective, what's your tactic, what's your cap?
I'm doing it now. She just gave like us.
Okay, so you know the whole objective, tactic, cap thing. So we like been doing that in some of our acting. Like, we're writing down. We spend the lessons like analysing the script, and for me that's such a slow thing. And I enjoy it, and I like the detective work. But it's like, I'm just like, I want to start doing. However, when it comes to today we had MT Tech. Last night I went on the script, and for every like different thought, I'd write what's my objective, and I used it. And then I came to my lesson today, and firstly it helped me remember the lines, but also it just gave me like a purpose. It gave me a drive. It gave me like a making active choices instead of in previous weeks being stood there like, I've said my line and now I'm just stood here. Because I wouldn't call myself, I'm definitely not an actor first, but because what we're learning can be used if we decide to use it. Makes a huge difference. And I think that's why I'm enjoying some more of the practical, some more of the theory stuff, because I can use it practically. Does that make sense? Does that?
It makes sense.
Good. No, I'm glad that I wasn't talking complete waffle. So yeah, that's the really nice thing. And, being in a training facility every single day, dancing every single day,
with inspiring people.
With inspiring people, like, I think it's clear why I'm seeing improvements. Because I'm not used to every single day dancing.
Oh, yeah.
I would do ballet once every 2 weeks, and occasionally every week, but it ends up being once every 2 weeks a lot of the time recently. And now doing it several times a week, my legs feel so strong. I used to have such weak legs. Like, I used to be terrible at squats, but now I'm seeing progress, and it's great. Because I used to be like, oh man, I could never like get low. I could never dance. But now I'm feeling, I'm loving it. But it's great. It's really good. I highly recommend to everyone, or any sort of drama school. Come. Especially the international students. They're open to international students. I mean, there's 7 of you. We're probably going to wrap up here.
I think so.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
And I really appreciate you coming and doing this after being absolutely wiped and shattered.
I should be the one thanking you for having me. Oh my God.
Yes, it's all right. I hope you've enjoyed all this, and maybe have learned something or thought of something or taken something away yourself. I just want to provide value.
I like this conversation. It's really nice just to have like a normal conversation and talk about things like we feel inspired about. Yeah,
totally. It's why I do it. I think conversations is such an important thing that people don't have enough. I think so many people just hold things in, and it's like, let's just talk, Let's just talk. And I think it's what I was saying at the beginning. Is like at the beginning it can feel a little bit uptight. By the end, we just relax into it, get into a little bit of a flow. I think I'm going to wrap up there. For those who maybe have watched this long, please subscribe. If you've been here for an hour, I need to say that earlier.
You're a true one. You're a loyal one.
I need to say this earlier on in the episode. I never do, but like, subscribe, leave us a little comment. We love receiving comments where we're like, we've actually affected someone. We get on our short form content, we get so much hate comments. People just go like, whatever topics we're discussing, it never reaches the right audience. Like our short form content is like 70% women. To be honest, in the world of theatre, it probably is the right audience. Whereas that was our long form. Our short form is like 90% men who are like 30, and they all just like, we just get a lot of shit. But it's kind of funny, but only when it balances out with the nice comments.
Yeah.
So leave a nice comment. We really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. This has been the Movement Theories podcast. We talked about movement a little bit. This is Mariana, the lovely guest. Links below for things to check out. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye.